Hello, my name is Eric Iaquino. Today we will feature an interview with Mayor Giovannati and an interview with Ikepo, who is a talk show host and has some exciting things going on. Not only do I know the mayor, I am also his bodyguard. Well, bodyguard in training. With this suit, I'm ready for my audition for a John Woo film. Dallas Cowboys lost their previous game, causing some fans to become raging lunatics. The government has confirmed that if this losing streak continues, it is highly likely Cowboy fans will need to attend psychiatric treatment for being sore losers. We now go to my colleague, Mike Lucas, not at all related to George Lucas, to interview the mayor. Mike?
Thanks for joining me, John.
Oh, it's always great to see you, Mike, and great to be here.
Well, let's start with that. I want to just talk about where we are and start with the town that we're in. We know that you're the mayor because Eric introduced you, but tell us a little bit about how you became mayor and how long you've been mayor for.
Well, I was served on council for 20 years. The former mayor decided not to run again. I was the council president the last 8 years, and I said, put my hat in the rink. I was ready to step up and be the leader of the town. And I got elected last November, started in January, had a lot of positive publicity with my brother being the mayor from Gibbstown. We're the only two brothers that are mayors in the state of New Jersey, so got off to a good start, fun start, had a busy year, a lot of positives going on in the town.
Yeah. Well, that's something I definitely want to talk to you about, is that you have passion, like it's clear, Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I work in the school system. I was a coach, so that's what we're used to. That's how I was raised. My parents were that way. I'm trying to be as visible as I can as the mayor. I have my own Facebook page. I'm out as many public events as I can. I sit out at the recycling center on Wednesdays and Saturdays, sporting events, community events. The people need to know their mayor and they need to see their mayor. And I like nothing better when I'm driving and somebody said, "There goes the mayor."
That's cool. That's cool, man. And you deserve it. It's really cool to see.
Thanks.
Speaking of that, you've been doing a lot of stuff, like you said, you have the Facebook page, you go to the recycling center, things like that. You mentioned that that's really important to the people. Why is that important, do you think?
It's important because it's a new change. We did something. We used to have curbside pickup.
Yeah.
We just couldn't afford it with the contamination fees and the recycling laws changing. So this was a new change. And I wanted to be there to say to the residents, let's see how it's working.
Right.
Can we improve it? And I think it's working well. You pull in, you pop your hood, they get the recycles, and you're gone. Now we're going to put a box there for closed donations.
Cool. That
people can do. So I think it's important that people see that you're going to make change, that you're implementing the change, and nobody can say they don't see the mayor.
Cool. That's great. And I also think it's great that you stay with technology. You're doing the stuff, you're documenting what you're doing. That's important. Obviously, we're sitting in our studio and
that's the way we do. We don't have, you have Facebook. We don't have a calendar or a newsletter that we're putting out. There's no real newspaper that comes. So, you want to be able to say to your residents, here's what we're doing. And it's a teamwork. It's me and the council, and of course our borough departments and our churches and our schools. It's all working together for the greater good of Paulsboro.
That's great. A couple weeks ago, we had a community event, the Halloween event, Mischief Night. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, it was so awesome. You hear this trunk or treat, and then Steve and his crew built this haunted house, and people were crying, people were laughing, people were, and just the love and the spirit with the food, the giveaways, the camaraderie. True example of Paulsboro pride. You will not find that in other communities, unfortunately, but that's what makes Paulsboro so special and the reason why I chose to live here.
That's great. That's a great answer. Tell people about that. I remember even being, my grandparents lived in Paulsboro when I was a kid, or we're from Paulsboro.
And Halloween growing up for me, especially in a family of 7, we didn't buy costumes. We made them. You went over to grandma's house. Somebody was a sailor. Somebody was an army man. A butcher or whatever they had is what we did. And Halloween was always a big event here. And this trunk or treat, just exceeded expectations. I had to run out to the store a couple times, buy more candy, but just to see people, and it was just great. I can't explain how great it was. And that positivity goes throughout the town. They're still talking about it. So that's good.
Yeah, for us, like, I mean, we're going to talk to Steve in a little bit. Like, he's going to be on later and we're going to chat. But like, I know that started out just to help the kids like in town. And it's like you mentioned before, you work in the school district. How important is that for the kids to just have experiences?
Well, we have traditions, and Paulsboro High School and the schools, they're our hub of our community, and events become big, like Paulsboro Day, 4th of July, Memorial Day. Now we have the trunk or treat has established it's a new tradition.
Right.
You know, now Steve every year, as long as he's here, is going to have to top what he did the year before. And I don't know how he's going to do it, but I know he'll do it. But they're the traditions that we're starting in this community, thanks to you and your crew, all the volunteers that were there hours and hours before the event even took place.
Well, I can say that to me is like one of the coolest things is like when we came to you even about over the summer, we had a project that we wanted to do here. The haunt, like even we're getting ready to do Friendsgiving, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Last year even, when I just threw this stuff at you last second, you guys react quick and you're supportive. Like it's hard to find a mayor or a chief of police, places that will just go, what do you need?
Well, we're all in because that's the type of community we are. And our community appreciates when somebody wants to give up their time, give up their money, give up their effort to do something good for our community. We're gonna reciprocate in a way that everybody's gonna have a good time, and they're gonna say, we're gonna come back. Just like we had 2 movies filmed in Paulsboro this year.
Right.
That's unheard of, but the word gets out, and you know what, next year it may be 3, and you have the residual effects of movie stars or actors coming into this town and getting an understanding of small town America.
You want to talk about that? I mean, I was there. We know that you stole the show.
I hope it doesn't make the cutting room floor. I did have a small scene. Hopefully next time I'll be able to talk. And
well, they were going to let you, but they were afraid. You know, because
you know, it's true. You know, I would hate to leave Paulsboro in my first year term, but you know, maybe down the road when I retire, I could get a couple more, a little more action in the movies.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, the great thing is you're in front of the camera, you're behind the camera, but you're really showing up in the community. And that really is incredible to see. Like, it's like, no bullshit. Like, I'm not trying to just be like, look, you know, we don't need anything from you or anything. Like, the way you have presented and supported us makes us excited. Like, we created this facility now to work in Paulsboro for a reason. Like, we love it here. Right. Like, this has been great for us, and we see what's going to happen.
Well, we're called the home of champions, you know. Paul Marina, Glenn Howard, legendary coaches, not only in the state, but in the nation. And, you know, I want to be the mayor of champions. I want someday they're going to say, wow, that mayor, he did it all. He turned Paulsboro around, or he organized and brought leadership where people want to come into this community, which they are. They're moving into the community. We have businesses and homeowners. People are coming here. They like what they see. They like the proximity. They like the small town feel. And that's what I want people to know. We're different than anywhere else.
I love it. Anybody have any other questions? Anything coming up? I want to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing. I haven't been able to really announce anything about Friendsgiving.
We have the Friendsgiving coming up.
Yeah.
We've talked about with the police yesterday at the meeting. Also going to have the tree lighting service on the 7th.
Cool.
Everyone's at 5:30. Or, you know, the hot chocolate, the tree lighting, the picture with Santa, little crafts for the kids.
Where's that going to be?
The municipal building.
Okay.
So we got some. We'll have our Christmas ornaments up. We got some new ones last year. I don't know, Steve, you still build a studio for that? For the picture?
I haven't.
Okay. I'll give him a pass. He's got enough going on. I may just give him the background with the screen. Give you a pass this year, you know, but in the past, Steve he's always been there.
Would you do like a photo setup? Like
He built a whole set, fireplace.
Some scenic stuff.
My man. The Friendsgiving thing, can we talk about that? Or are we able to discuss where?
Yeah.
Do we get approval to do it? Where?
We got approval right near the lot. They said
Same spot?
Yes, because Wednesday night's bingo at the firehouse.
Right. Yeah.
I think you're going to try it. Are you thinking about having a tent?
we're thinking about just having a little one, like a small one, just in case the weather is crap.
So
like just to
people
be able to, well, and also like our like volunteers.
Okay.
But the goal was like we have 1,500 meals. Yeah, right. 1,500. Whoever, we just want people to come out and eat.
Oh, they're going to come. They'll come and they'll eat, and it'll be a success. The word gets out.
We have Urkel chefing again. So.
Oh, good. I know him and
Urkel.
Lickerdell will be cooking. Hopefully the weather will hold out where it's not too cold. We've been lucky with the weather. So.
Yeah, we got pretty lucky. And Halloween, like that whole week was gorgeous. Like that was unbelievable.
Oh gosh, even last Monday I was walking in shorts. We did our crime rate in Paulsboro is down. We did have an incident yesterday where a kid got shot. He got actually shot 5 times. We've had 2 shootings this year, and the same kids got shot both times.
Holy mackerel.
So it's not random. He's a target of something.
It's interesting though. I mean, that happens everywhere, right? But because you're in a smaller area, it's more shocking, or people I think look at it.
Right, and one's too many, two's too. But overall, I think that the chief has said it in a meeting. The crime rate's down, violent crime. And yesterday or Monday or whenever it happened, it was unfortunate. But I think they're pretty strong leads that they have that it'll be resolved. It'll just take some time, but it's definitely not what we want, and it's not the direction that we're going to. And we'll do everything from our end to make sure that it's not acceptable. You're not going to go around shooting here.
Right. Yeah. We all go to the same places. We eat together. We hang out together.
Right. So that's not acceptable, especially when those streets are so small. Could have went through a window and hit somebody innocent.
Yeah. Well, let's try to turn that around. Let's end on some positive stuff, because like I said, you come in with a mission, that's for sure. You're in the beginning of this stage. I'm hoping that sounds like you're going to keep trying to run and you want to do this for.
Yeah, at least I want to get through the 4 years, and hopefully I'd like to, it's going to takes 1 year just to learn all the ropes and all as the mayor, you're front and center. You're meeting with developers. You're meeting with people who want to do business. You're meeting with, we have a Salve settlement. They polluted the water. So we made a settlement with Salve. They're going to have to pay us $6 million for their, you need to be at those meetings to tell the DEP, hey, here's Paulsboro. We need to get it fixed. We're at the center of their mess. So they're the ideas, and they're the goals that you have to have is you have to, recreation, business, finance. We have a company willing to come in here and buy 20 lots in the center of town, and they're going to put low to moderate homes, not rentals.
Okay.
And it'll be for people who, maybe is working as a teacher and, they can't afford a $400,000 home. If they qualify for this program, they'll be able to get a home and at a cheaper rate because of the economics, and the government program will pay for a big cost of it. So 20 new homes in the center of town could change the makeup of that this whole area.
Yeah.
Then we're selling other lots. Other people are buying lots and building houses. So we got investors rehabbing lots. One of my goals is every time somebody new comes into town, I go knock on the door and hand them a business card. So I knock on the door. Now, some of them are not home. Some are. I ask them where they're coming from. They come from New York. A lot from North Jersey.
Really?
And some work from at home. So my mom's house was sold. The lady works from home, but she was looking to get into something quieter other than the city, and she seems to be real happy. The people I talk to are excited to be here.
That's great. That's great. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you coming and being a part of our first show. This is our first ever.
That's awesome.
show.
And, hopefully I'll be back again.
You'll definitely
so always
be back.
Listen, it's easy to talk about Paulsboro. Paulsboro and pasta. They're 2 easy things to talk about. And sports and wrestling,
Actually, real quick before we do go, one thing I do want to comment on too is I've noticed though, your staff, the people you work with, you guys get along great too. Is that just the culture?
You mean the council?
Everybody.
Yeah.
It seems like you get along with any, even in the schools, and I know that everybody there's issues all over, right? But the way that you guys interact, Vern, and when you guys get together, I just love the way you guys interact.
Well, I'm all about relationships, and we have as the mayor, I have high expectations. Vern's our new administrator, but You have to have fun, you know.
Yeah.
Or you're going to work hard and still have fun. You know, we did it with wrestling. And nothing's better than winning. And when you're working hard and winning, it's fun. And we have to support one another, all our departments, you know, that's how it was with coaching. You know, we worked really hard at it, but we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know.
And then I do have one last thing. I like to do that. I like to pretend it's the last one. But talking about your brother too with Gibbstown, like we're the same district, like sending district to high school and stuff. Like, is there like more of a camaraderie you think now? Like, are we working on that?
Gibbstown has a new superintendent, Ryan Hudson, who actually graduated from Paulsboro. So I'm confident, because his parents still live in Paulsboro, that we're going to get a better shake from the school. We're going to invite the parents, the kids, listen, come to Paulsboro. Now there's less people from Paulsboro maybe moving to Gibbstown than it was years ago, but Paulsboro High School still offers a top-notch education. The community, the spirit, you can't get that. We got a new principal, Matt Brown, who's already in a few months did a remarkable job, and he's going to continue to bring energy and technology and programs to the school. So yes, the relationship is good. I like every kid from Gibbstown to come here. It's a parallel track. They never had a high school. You know, we had the high school for them, and we want to keep that relationship.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, even as a business owner, like I have a business in Gibbstown. Now we're here in Paulsboro too. Like, I'd like to see more of that. Like, just more work together, more community to support each other. You know.
Well, the Chamber of Commerce that's an area that one of the goals is to get with the Chamber of Commerce and actually expand to East Greenwich and West Stafford.
Right.
Get more people involved with the Chamber of Commerce, because, you know, we shop in East Greenwich, we shop in Gibbstown.
Sure.
We shop, you know, let's make it reciprocal. Let's bring them people here and visit our shops. Let's go there and visit their shops. You know, I have good working relationships with all the mayors in Gloucester County, especially East Greenwich, of course, my brother, and the mayor from West Stafford as well. So it's all important. All our success is based on each other's success.
Awesome. That's great. I love it. Anybody have anything else they want me to ask or talk about while we have them on the hot seat? Anybody? Lexi, you're a former student from Paulsboro for a little bit. Paulsboro kid, you recognize?
What's your last name?
Alexus Morris?
What are you, 20?
22.
20. You graduated from Paulsboro.
No.
Yeah. My brother, Jermaine Morris, he was like in the band and everything.
What's his name?
Jermaine Morris.
He's still in school?
What do you say?
He's out of school?
Yeah, he graduated college. Yeah. So it's been like,
How old is he?
He's like 24.
I must know him if I say, you know.
Yeah.
I was the athletic director, so I wasn't dealing with, now I'm dealing with all disciplines, so it's a little different. And when athletics, it's different. You still live in town?
No, we moved to Marlton.
Oh gosh, we got to fix that.
But she's back here working in town
Good,
now.
good.
And
Great
having
to see
fun.
you.
Great to be back.
I'm gonna look you in the yearbook tomorrow when I get in their school.
Okay.
What year? Where?
Oh, I actually went to GCIT.
But you went to
Oh,
Paulsboro
you went to
first.
GCIT, that's why. Yeah, you went to 7th and 8th grade, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who were some of the kids in your class in 7th and 8th grade?
I had Rosemary Santiago. Well, my brother, do you know like Anthony Marina?
Who?
Anthony Marina.
Oh yeah, you went to school.
No, my brother was like best friends with
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I must know him, man. Anthony's in South Carolina.
Yeah.
And you graduated college?
No, I'm graduating in May.
Oh, teacher?
She's a senior at Rome. No, video.
Oh, video.
Social media.
Yeah, listen, I might need some help. You want to come work part-time with me? What do you want, my Facebook? I don't do Twitter or X. I made a mistake. I put Kiana's name on a Facebook thing, and you spelled her name. I said, when I get up early in the morning, I'll
just
put
go.
things on Facebook, 5
Yeah.
o'clock or whatever it is. You know, I should spell it right, but, you know, I didn't. You knew who it was. That's what I wanted to tell.
Oh, I love it. Well,
Well, I appreciate it.
Man,
Anything you need
thank
from
you.
me,
I
you
know.
let me know.
Please forgive the delay. My producer had an argument with my sound engineer. After an hour fight, they each realized they were both wrong. Happily, they are married again and have agreed to attend therapy, 1 hour each day to make up. If you use the following words, whatchamacallem, ain't, thingy, or something else that sounds dumb, you should be forced to read the Webster Dictionary. Unfortunately, many Americans do not know what books are, but if they do, they don't know how to open them. Last Thursday, residents in the South Jersey area experienced a weird smell in the air. It was determined that an arsonist started a wildfire. Since many in this southern region are already smelling other odd odors, nobody panicked and no phone calls went out for the smell to stop. Now back to you, Mike, for your interview with Esteban.
Well, what did you think of those jokes?
I smelled the smoke.
You smelled it, huh?
I smelled it. I went in my basement. I thought the house was on fire.
Yeah.
It's like lingering down in the downstairs. Yeah.
All right.
So I understood. It wasn't funny. It was serious.
Well, yeah, it is. That's no laughing matter, wildfires. My guest right now is Esteban. I want to talk a little bit about what you do here at ICS, what you've been doing, and I want to talk about Halloween. So which do you want to start with first?
It all runs in a single, it's all together. So it's kind of a jumble.
Let's do this. Why did you do the haunt? What was the purpose behind the haunt?
The purpose behind the haunt was to keep the kids off the street, to give them something to do. We've been pretty successful with putting that thing together. Jahira that works at Weiss's next door, she said, you know, people put on haunts, but you have an aesthetic. When you do it, that it kind of leads you in when you're going through, and they did a really good job, everybody involved. It wasn't just me. I mean, they came to me and they said, can you do it? And I was like, well, yeah, I'll do it for the kids. It's a lot of effort. And even the people that volunteered, I mean, I appreciate all of that. And we actually got sponsors this year.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, Home Depot, Sherman-Williams took stuff right off the shelf. Sonny Johnson over there, amazing, just so supportive.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Yeah.
But talk about, let's go back in time. So you did it last year first.
Well, no,
right?
I've been doing it off and on for like the chapter, the Paulsboro chapter. I'm one of the founding board members of it. Of the Boys and Girls Club. Right. And so I've been doing it off and on, not every year, but maybe every 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. And last year, I think you came to it and you couldn't even get in. The line was wrapped around the block. But one of the kids at the Friendsgiving that we did afterwards, which was a tremendous, in fact, we're getting ready to do that again. It was a tremendous event, and it just fed a lot of people. We fed 500 people in Paulsboro, and you had enough food for like 1,200 people, was it?
Total, yeah.
And the rest of it went to a community in Camden. So that was just, but one of the kids walked up to me and he says, Mr. Steve, and I looked at him and said, like, who's this guy? He says, you don't remember me, do you? And I was like, no. He says, I was at your first haunted house. He says, and I'm taking this food to my kids. And I'll never forget that, because it just touched me that I was able to help somebody like that. And now I'm helping another generation of people. So they give me back more than I ever gave.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in the Boys and Girls Club? Like, how'd that come about?
I myself saw some kids running around, and they were doing some things they shouldn't have been doing. And I was like, what are they doing? And somebody told me they're playing. I was like, no, we can't have that. So myself, John Brusicelli, who was probably the mayor at the time, got a whole bunch of the clergy, the business people in town, and they started having meetings. And then they got I think it was Valero at the time. It might have been another refinery, but they gave us the building for 99 years for $1.
Oh, wow.
And they moved right in and started the programs.
That's cool. And what kind of stuff have you done with them over the years?
Christmas, Thanksgiving, bring them art supplies, just to keep them busy. I've learned that if you just share and you're able to open that door. If as a child, they're so curious, they'll take it and they'll run with it.
Right.
So that's the beauty of it for me. There's a word I'm looking for. It's almost like to be able to expose them to something. The exposure opens that door to allow them to be creative, and they'll run with it. You got to give them something to give them off the streets,
Right.
something to preoccupy the mind and take those other thoughts away.
Yeah, and it's wild because I think people only kind of look at their surroundings sometimes. They don't see what's sometimes in front of them, and I think what you're doing is you're giving them an option that they can see something else. Like they could
Only
play.
because I'm from Los Angeles,
Yeah.
and I went to New York, and I was building scenery on Broadway with a guy that was one of the founding partners of the studio. His name was Bernard Bloch, and just exposed to different things, and it allowed me to grow, and it changed me. I used to be an angry person when I was a little kid. I was angry. I was upset at everybody and everything. I was like, get away from me.
When? When you were just a little kid?
Well, not recently, of course. But yeah, so you grow and you mature, hopefully, and you're able to share some of the things that you've learned.
What's so unique about that?
This fabric is actually the curtain fabric from the landmark curtain at Radio City Music Hall. Bernard recreated the curtain for them in 1987, and this is some of the fabric that was left over from that curtain. And I've actually started a program where there's these small little commemorative pillows that we've had signed by people who have actually passed away: B.B. King, Alex Trebek, Isaac Hayes, and then there's people that are still with us like M. Night Shyamalan. And we're going to auction them off to raise money for this program and the kids at the Boys and Girls Club.
It's awesome. I don't think people realize how many things you've done. Like, and I don't even know if you've kept track. Like,
No,
I remember,
you
I think
can't.
one time I asked you for a resume and you laughed at me.
Yeah.
But like, just some of the stuff that you've been on, like, what are some of your favorite experiences?
When I left Los Angeles in '84, I went with Bernard and we did Christmas. It was an NBC Christmas special with Don Ohlmeyer, who did the NBC Wide World of Sports. And he was well known for that. We also did the first 4 MTV Awards shows.
Cool.
So we worked with so many different people. I mean, Michael Jackson was there, Madonna, Eddie Murphy was there. When I left Los Angeles, the girl that I was dating at the time was part of Tina Marie's management. So we were hanging out with Rick James and Patti LaBelle and, just all these different people. And
That's
it
cool.
was amazing. It was an amazing time.
How about here, when it coming to Paulsboro? Like, what are some of the things that you've loved doing here?
Oh, at the studio?
Yeah.
Well, we get into so many different things. I've kind of turned into like a departmental liaison for the people that come in, because one producer, his name is Marshall Evans, he says, well, you know where all the skeletons are. So if you need something, I can probably find it for you in a matter of within a half an hour. And we bring it out and we set it up, and he was like, that's exactly what I needed. So we've become a resource for the industry. There's a fleet of fire trucks that we have to do special effects. We have the studio next door. We have this place now,
Yeah.
which hopefully we'll be able to use a lot more. And we're teaching a lot of the young people that are coming through how to use their tools.
Yeah. When I came to you with that concept, what did you think originally about independent content studio, like where we're at? Like, what was your thoughts on it? And
I think I was always looking for an outlet to be able to grow myself and at the same time help the youth that was coming forward. But now we've actually, it's almost like it's official that we're working with the people from Rowan. We're trying to start a STEM program at Paulsboro High School, and to be able to help ourselves, but at the same time help these young people grow and people that want an opportunity. And the opportunities are out there. You just have to get off your behind and go and do whatever you're trying to do. It's available.
Yeah.
It's not that you don't have enough money or anything. You make a way. It's like when you're an actor. They say you need an agent. Well, you want an agent, but you need a job.
Right.
But you can't get a job until you get an agent. You figure it out. You figure out a way.
Yeah, you do it.
Just got to do it.
I hear that.
Yeah.
I can't thank you enough because, like, I mean, this like today, like you took things that we were at a very base level and you brought it to
I
life.
just spruced it up a little bit.
Yeah, you're very particular. I don't know if you ever heard that before.
Never. Not from you.
Let's all right. Well, since you're gonna say that, was I the most annoying person during the haunt setup that I annoyed you the most?
Never. You would never.
You sure?
Me.
Oh, I
we got on
definitely.
each other's nerves because
I definitely tried to
he
annoy
would
you.
do something and I'd go back and redo it, or I would say, no, that's not going to work, or change this or change that, and he was like, but I'm just trying to do this, and you keep changing everything, and I was like, well,
So do it twice instead of once.
I am very particular.
Well, our sound guy, he sometimes causes more work for us. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Well, I mean, in a pickle, but.
He burned him tonight, though. I have it in my journal. Cap, you want to talk about it? Should I talk about it?
No, don't talk about it.
No, it was a pretty deep burn.
No,
dude.
but you know what? He's a lovely person. We love him. I mean, just like the rest of the people are on it. Art, I can't. There's so many things I couldn't have gotten done without some of the people you have around. And yeah, we get credit, but at the same time, you don't do anything by yourself. I used to know a guy that was a theater specialist for the government, and when he started his classes, he would hold up a toothpick, and he would ask everybody, "What did it take to get this toothpick in my hand?" And they would think about it.
Right.
Say, you had to cut down the tree. You had to mill it. The truck drivers, the store clerks, every process that it had to go through for it to be right here.
Right.
It takes a lot of folks. So you don't do anything by yourself. In fact, there was a woman by the name of Barbara Scher, and she did a class in New York, and she was teaching us how when you unite people and you get them all together, that you can do so many different things. And she did an example, and she says, who has something they're trying to do? And people would raise their hands, and somebody yelled out, I'm trying to find a monkey. And she said, that's a good one. Now, let's all put our heads together. How do we find a monkey? What do you need the monkey for? I want to take pictures, promotional pictures, and I need a monkey for these pictures. And she went around the room. People were throwing out ideas, and she would write them down on a chalkboard. And circus, zoo, contact this person, contact that person. Somebody jumped up and said, I know somebody that has a monkey. And she said, see, when you put your heads together, what you can get done. It's the same thing as the haunted house. Volunteers of America, the police force here, the mayor, Vern.
Herman.
Herman is a big one.
Yeah.
Troublemaker. We love him. Troublemaker.
Herman?
Herman. Yeah. Troublemaker. We love him.
Yeah,
the guys at the borough, it takes more. It takes people. And you're not going to do anything by yourself, so you might as well accept that and get done what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I think that that night really re-energized my whole outlook on life. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like I was like, it was tough, but then seeing those kids running out, seeing them run back in, seeing some of them crying but laughing at the same time.
Oh my God, it was wonderful.
And everybody just like, that is what community really is. It was so cool to see. The trunk or treat was packed. They were making their way over, and it was like, I couldn't even I wanted to absorb it all, and I couldn't. Like, I didn't even have time to go over and enjoy that other stuff because there was just so many things right in front of me that our team, like everybody on our team was incredible.
Oh,
like
yeah.
And as you mentioned before, like putting our minds together, like I just want to point that out again. Like our team put this together in what? This is our third week? Our third week doing stuff?
This whole
Eric?
thing?
Third week, yeah.
You practiced an interview, then you did a 2-person interview, and now they're doing their first show.
Yeah, so the concept is we're taking these young folks and we're teaching them. If you know camera, they'll teach you lights. If you know lights, we'll teach you props. And it's open to anybody in Jersey at the moment.
Jersey, yeah. Yeah, we want to build the community here. Like, we want to work together, you know, and I have a big chip on my shoulder, right? And I'm not afraid to talk about that. It's my whole career has been out of this state. I mean, I've shot a few things here, maybe 4.
Yeah, I went with you to California. I went with
couple
you
times.
to Atlanta, Minneapolis.
Minnesota,
Yeah.
We've done a lot at other places.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've always been my security blanket.
Well,
I love having you around because it is, as you said, like you, Tommy Frkovich,
Yeah.
Art, Kappler. I mean, Kappler.
yeah.
Count that one. But I know, like the wisdom, you know, and the experience. Like, I mean, between all of you guys, like if you were to put together the knowledge that you guys have and the experience you have and all the things, like when I first came up, the stuff I would learn just from watching, I was like, this is the shot I want. Well, what do you want? How do you want it to look? What color do you want it? And at first it was like overwhelming. It was like, wait, I don't even know what 90% of that is. And you guys took the time to show me, you know, and little tricks too. Like I talk about all the time, like Frkovich would like breaking a mirror and using it, you know, as a cookie, like reflecting light back and things like that. It was just stuff I'd never seen in school, you know, and in like 2 or 3 days, I learned more than I did in 4 years of college.
And that's the difference, is that you hands-on, you're doing it, and
Right.
you learn it, as opposed to, and you're applying it, as opposed to reading it in a book
Right.
and then trying to figure it out. You're actually doing it. So you have the physical thing in front of you, and you're able to manipulate that thing using your mind and your creativity and the knowledge of all these other people. So it's just, it's so more reassuring that you're going to understand what it is. And it's the best way to learn.
Yeah, it's cool. I've learned a lot, even in the last couple of weeks, just with our group here, of figuring out how do we even communicate? Like, how do we set up this stuff? And how do we have time to work together? And like showing them the weirdest stuff of like ripping down the tiles and putting the grid in and learning what that even looks like and why that looks like that. And knowing that like you might not get the payoff this afternoon.
Right.
But then there's 3 weeks from now when you remember, oh, I was up there, I did that,
Yeah,
or I
you
helped
get-
move that, or I did these things, or I put that plant there, you know,
Yeah.
and it made the difference of that shot. Art, remember, you used to move the lights around all the time and never get credit for it.
Wow.
Coach would come back and tweak it a little bit, and then
Yeah,
I love starting drama between all the.
it's true. No,
team.
it's true. But at the same time, you have a grid in here now.
Yeah.
You have a set in here now.
Yeah.
We have talent that's waiting in the wings to
Yeah.
come on, and hopefully we'll be able to, you know, bring a lot of these things to fruition. And that's our goal.
Awesome.
That's a definite.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. I appreciate the
same
support
here.
forever, man.
I appreciate everybody.
Cool.
Everybody here.
All right, when we get back, we're going to go back to Eric, right? And then we're going to have Ikepo join, and then
Oh,
we're going to
cool.
wrap this thing up. All right. Thanks, Esteban. Appreciate it.
Yep, here too.
You're the man.
Hello, welcome back. And I just wanted this news broadcast just got some new information that Vice Channel announced today that there will be a 6th season of Dark Side of the Ring. All 10 episodes will be about WWE former CEO Vince McMahon. Producers said they want a wild, crazy, and outrageous season. Fortunately for them, Vince McMahon is nuttier than squirrel poop. We now go back again to Mike Lucas, who will be interviewing with Ikepo. Mike, all yours.
Thanks, Eric. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Ikepo.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. We got to meet a couple weeks ago, and you told me a little bit about what you were doing, but I would love you to explain it to our audience and our team here, and just kind of a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure, yeah. So, hello, Ikepo, AKA Keps. Everyone calls me Keps. That is my nickname. It's been that for many, many years. I do have a platform, keptalk.com. It's a faith-based platform where people come on and share their stories, right? Stories of hope, stories of faith, stories of resilience, just stories that I feel like everyone should hear. You know, we live in a society where the negativity gets pushed out a lot, and a lot of us are dealing with things that I believe can make impacts and can also help the next person. And so that ultimately is what Kep Talk is all about. It's really just a platform of encouragement, of hope, and really just hopefully changing the world little by little, but really just changing the world or even the community So that's what it's about.
How did that happen? Like, what made you?
So I would say growing up, I talked a lot. I was a talkative. And I love talking to people. I love hearing about what people were going through, experiencing, even as a little girl, surprisingly. And as I got older, I just realized like I was just that friend that people used to just come to and talk to. So, I mean, pretty much I just, how you kind of know you have a gift, like there's a talent. And I was like, I really want to do something with this. I want to make impact ultimately. And so I went and got that degree. And I'm like, I want to start this platform. And, with the pandemic that recently we just got out of, people were coming out with different things, like content related. I was like, I'm going to start this, right? I'm just going to take a leap of faith and do this. And that's what I've been doing. And so that's kind of how it started. And I'm still going, I'm still learning, I'm still figuring it out. But I have met a lot of really amazing people along the way. Yeah.
What do you think the hardest thing has been for you so far? Like, is like getting that going and just being consistent with it?
Consistency is the hardest thing, right? Keeping up with it, because again, there's so much that people are putting out, and sometimes, I feel like, is my stuff that good? Like, but I just kind of have to just ignore what I'm seeing, because I know that what I'm doing is for a reason and for a purpose, and not be distracted by what others are doing, and just remaining consistent. I think that's the hardest part for me. Because, there was a year and a half where I kind of like didn't do, but this is so fulfilling to me. And so I've picked it back up again and want to continue doing it and really taking it to another level.
Great.
Yeah.
What are your plans to do that? Like, how are you going to try to achieve that? And then before you even get into that, like, how are you doing it right now? Like, tell me about the setup. Like, what do you?
Sure. So the setup right now is my house. It's in our basement, and it's working, right? But again, I'm thinking a little bigger. I've had like a couple of live shows in the past, audience and the works. Which has been successful. But again, I want to take it a step further. I want to do more. I think of talk shows like Oprah, right? And, Wendy Williams, who no longer is a talk show, but, things like that. And I'm just like, I want that. Like, I want to be that. Of course, faith-based, but I think that now is the time to pursue that. Because there's a lot going on in the world, a lot.
Yeah.
And I think people just need, they need that. They really do.
Great.
Yeah.
And the faith-based part of it, like, tell me a little bit about that. Like, I know you're saying the positivity and things like that, but what inspired you to do that and stick to it? You know, because I think it's easy to be like, oh, well, I could do a trashy reality show, or I could do this. Like, that's actually, I think, more difficult, because everybody likes, like, they gravitate towards the crazy or the odd on Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff. But how challenging is that for you, and why is that so important to you?
So that's a great question. I think for me, just based off of my experiences in life, my faith is what has kept me grounded.
Cool.
And I think that whether we like it or not, each of us, there's something inside of us that, whether you want to call it a higher power, whatever floats your boat, there's something in you that connects you back, right, to purpose. Again, call it God, call it whatever you want to call it. And I just believe that I want to touch that part of people. Now, it may not be easy, like you said, reality TV and the trashiness and all that might be what is selling. But believe me, each person goes through something in their life that brings them right back to whatever they believe in, right? And so, again, I want to just touch on that part of people. And so that's why I'm sticking the course to faith-based. Yeah, so, I just, again, I go back to making impact. And I do believe that it's in the stories of hope and encouragement. That's really what makes impact. I really do believe that.
All right, I have another question about that then.
Sure.
So I met you through our friend Esteban, who was just here, but
Yes.
also through your husband.
Yes.
Right? And your husband's shop, which it
Yes.
seems like in your family, from what I've seen from the outside, I don't know you that well yet,
Okay.
there's a lot of creativity.
Yes.
And a lot of support
Yes.
from each other.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit,
Yes.
and how important that is.
Yeah, my tribe is amazing. Like you said, my husband is super creative. I feel like he's more creative than me, honestly. And so I am really grateful for him because he supports everything that I do. There's nothing that he will not support, from my husband to my brother, who I think you know as well. And yeah, their creativity has rubbed off on me. And so, yeah, my community is really just amazing. And again, when it comes to the talk show that I want to kind of level up on, I want to bring in different things, right? So like I keep on saying faith-based, but like, you know, even on my Instagram right now, like I have this thing called like Keps Keep It or Keps Leave It. So like I post like different items that I like, should I keep it or should I leave it? And then people tell me and I do what they say, right? I want to bring in different aspects of it, different creative aspects into this talk show. And definitely my community plays a huge role in that. I get inspired every day, honestly.
Cool.
Yeah.
So in the dream scenario then, talk me through the show and what do you need help with?
Dream scenario. Definitely speakers, like people that are willing, right? Because I think that's the biggest hurdle. Some people just are not ready to share their story, right? And that's okay. You got to be patient. So definitely that. But again, I have a whole list of people that are ready. Of course, like set, of course, marketing and just getting the word out there, Kep Talk, getting it out to the community. And I feel like it's like a blank check for me. Like, what else? But yeah, I mean, ultimately that, just really making my mark, like really helping me make my mark.
Awesome.
That's what I hope.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, last thing.
Sure.
What do you have coming up in the near future? Like anything planned for?
Yes. So this next month, I do like every other month Zoom sessions.
Okay.
And so it's like it's focused around wellness because I'm really passionate about that. You know, your mind, your body, your soul. And so I do have a Zoom session coming up in December. Also in January, I do something every quarter where it's called Dine with Keps. And so like the last one I did was like the motherhood edition. So it was like 15 women. We gathered together and just talked about motherhood, the highs and the lows of motherhood. But in January, the focus is going to be on friendship. So people will be able to bring a friend and we're just going to eat and talk and just talk about how we can be good friends, like good friends to each other. And so those are the two things that are coming up December and January. And yeah, I mean, as I get inspired, I plan.
That's really cool.
So if you talk to me next week, I can have something for February and something for March. Yeah, I like to execute. And so, but those are the two things for sure that are on the calendar for me.
That sounds really cool. How did you come up with the friends thing? Like, how did what was how did that topic come about? The mother one, that's, you know.
Yeah, yes. The friends, so, I mean, I have a list of different topics. And I just think that a lot of people just don't know how important friendship is. Like,
Right.
you know, we have significant others, you might have children, but you need friends. Like, you really need your core group of whether girlfriends, guy friends, whatever the case may be. And so I just wanted to just gather people where we can just talk about how important friendship is. Like, what does it look like to even be a friend? Some people
Right.
really don't know,
Right.
like genuinely don't know how to be a good friend. And so I just wanted to start the year off with that. And so, yeah, you know, the next quarter, it could be something completely different, but it's just, you know, people love to talk over a good meal. And so I just wanted to provide that outlet for them.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And then how do they sign up for it? Did you already? Do you have a list?
Everything is on the website. So like
Okay.
every month my website gets updated with the theme, but everything you'll be able to find on the website.
Which is what?
Keptalk.com.
Okay.
Yeah. Instagram. I also have a thread. I know that's like the newer thing. I have a TikTok. So everything definitely gets announced through those platforms.
Cool.
And then people are able to sign up for anything that I do. It will be through the website.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Great work.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
really
you.
awesome.
Thank
Well,
you.
hopefully you're going to be working with us.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. We would really love to try to figure that out, you know. And I think I'm speaking for everybody, but we'll talk. But everybody seemed really excited when we brought it up last
you.
week, and
Thank
I'm
you.
glad that you were able to make it out on short notice and
Yes.
come be a part of this as our
problem.
first show with our lights going out.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah, our great joke telling.
I laughed at a few.
That's all I need to hear.
Yeah, great job.
It's not my fault if some people don't have a sense of humor.
That's a good point. Our audio guy tries to be funny a lot. He knows that. So if you ever you need advice on how to tell a flat joke, that's who you go to. Okay?
I'll make note of that.
All right. You did great.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Keep
Thank you.
going. Keep going.
Yeah, it's awesome. We couldn't ask for a better end to our first show.
Oh, thank
And thank you for helping us spread some
you.
positivity, and you know, really look forward to seeing what you do. And I can't wait to hear about the Friends party.
Thank you.
It's gonna be cool.
Yes, it will be. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for watching. Tune in again next week. Or not. Whatever.